Kylian Mbappe became the young player to score in a World Cup final since Pele did so in 1958. My name is Emmanuel Kurada, and you're watching the final episode of your World Cup special, where we'll be bringing you everything that took place in Russia and all things in the world of soccer in Russia 2018. It's indeed been an amazing tournament where we've watched a lot of controversial decisions. We've watched a lot of the beautiful moments of soccer in Russia 2018, and they have proven to the entire world not just because they are capable of hosting, but they were capable of going further by taking the Spanish national team out of the World Cup, and then they were unfortunate not to go further against Croatia. And to join me in the studio today talking about all things that took place in Russia is my colleague, my one and only, somebody who has been there from day one, Simeon. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm doing very good. Tell me about the highlights of the World Cup 2018 for you.
The highlight for the World Cup 2018 for me, I think, is actually proved to me that there's more to being a star, or there's more to skill, there's more to talent. So, and then this World Cup 2018 has actually proved to me that dedication, character, and determination as well is part of the sport that we're talking about here. So
no, that's so true. And in Russia, where a lot of records have been broken, a lot of records have been set. From the beginning of the show, we'll be mentioning that a lot of records have been broken and a lot have been set. The first being Russia starting the World Cup with 5-0. The first time a host nation will win without margin since 1934. And then in the group stage, we also saw them scoring 8 goals, you know, in the group stage and being the highest since 1934. We've seen the Germany fail to win since 1982, Brazil since 1978. You know, we've seen a lot of records broken in this tournament. And to me, I feel that only proves that football is evolving. How do you see it?
Actually, I can say football is evolving anyway. Like I said, this tournament, before any tournament, every other World Cup, we could have already given it to a country that we expected to win, and then it will actually be so. But this World Cup actually proved many analysis, many predictions wrong, because like I said, determination play a part, and this is the World Cup that I seen that having too much possession on board doesn't guarantee you winning.
Yes.
So because we find out that many people with possession in this tournament actually lost the game, so the people with less possession actually won the game. So for me, this World Cup has actually taught me a lot of lessons.
Yeah, no, like you said, in this World Cup we've seen so much. We've seen determination come into play. We've seen the zeal from the other players. We've seen teamwork. Teamwork being the key of this beautiful game.
Cup, yeah.
You know, and in 2018 we've seen all that. And it's just about life. That's how life is. The more you are determined to succeed in life, you will succeed.
Yeah.
But then if you are not, you are too comfortable in your zone, I don't think you'll be able to achieve a lot of things. Okay, now we're talking about this World Cup as a tournament. You've been around.
Yeah.
You've watched a lot of World Cups.
Yeah.
Between 1990, okay, let me say between 1998 to this time,
Yeah.
what stood out for you in this World Cup?
What stood out for me in this World Cup, if you look at the team of France and Croatia, so France has 10 different goal scorers, defenders, midfielder, and attackers.
Belgium had 10 different.
So and Belgium also have 10 different, and Croatia have 12 different goal scorers as well. So that proved to us that none of those teams that build their team on one single player. So it shows that if you mark out this particular person, and then this one will definitely score, and which is actually not quite like that in World Cup 1998, whereby we have the likes of Zidane, we have the likes of Suka, doing the scoring. So and then but this World Cup proved that the defenders are also involved in goal scoring, the midfielders are also involved in this score. So that's what made this World Cup standard for me.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying because in this World Cup we've seen so much. We've seen a lot of surprises. We've seen a team like Iceland, who qualified to this World Cup for the first time at the expense of Netherlands. You know, we've seen them also getting a point against Argentina, the almighty Argentina.
And even one thing that actually took out for me, I think I heard that Croatia also qualified based on playoff.
Yeah, no,
not
they
like
did.
they
No,
qualified based on
we're
playoff.
going to talk about them actually. Another thing that came to mind when I was thinking about Croatia and what they have achieved in this tournament is that it's a country of 4 million people. Now look at on this continent, we have hundreds of millions of people, population-wise. In Nigeria alone, we have 200 million people, and we're unable to get 23 people who will take us beyond the first round of the World Cup. But then this team from 4 million people, only a few thousands of them are playing soccer. And they were able to take their nation not just to the quarterfinal, the semi-final, but into the final. So to me, I think they are the heroes of this tournament.
I think that's where the saying that says it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So whether we have 200 million, if the interest of soccer is not there among the 200 million, it's not there. If the zeal is not there, it's not there. So whether we have 1,000 does not matter. But what I actually see about Croatia is because I think they believe in themselves, they believe in their country, they really want to give everything for their country. They are happy about their president. You could see the way the president was so happy throughout the tournament. So they are happy about their president. The president is also supportive. And when you have such a leader supporting your dream, and then you also want to give your best, I think the role from their government to the coaching crew there to the supporters, fans, so really played a lot in their progress.
And you know, it's a very sad thing because some of these countries, the African countries, has been going to the World Cup before these countries. You know, on this continent, we're unable to get a team that we can come. In this World Cup was even a shame. It was a shameful thing because for the 5 African countries that represented us on this continent, we're unable to get past the group stage.
Yeah, you know? I think we said this after that, the elimination of the African team. I think what stood out for me, you see, if you look at the France and England, Belgium, let's say from Belgium, England, and Croatia and France, if you see there's one thing that is similar to them, is that the unity between the boys, the players. So no one is higher, no one claims to be tough, no one claims to be a star. If you see, the bond is there. They play close to themselves in the same, almost in the same league. So they see themselves often, like most of all the time. So I think that really play a part in those 4 teams, because there's no one that is trying to claim that he's the best player. There's no one that is trying to claim I'm the world best among them. So they play as a team. So I think that's what the African team needs to learn from.
And they're not learning.
They need to share the bond.
I know the key thing we say, the fundamental problem of African football, aside institutionalizing corruption in Africa, they also have the issue of grassroots soccer. It's not being properly handled, and they're not taking care of it, which is one key problem that I've seen.
Even the European team as well, most of them also, apart from their grassroots, what we spoke about the last time, actually is a good thing if the African country or the government can take into actions. There's no need, it's not necessary that when our team wants to play a match, you need to bring them together 3 days to the tournament. Organize a get-together for them. Let them come together most of the time. Let them spend time together. Let them relate. Let them share their body. Let them help each other. Let them support themselves. Whether this one is doing one ceremony, let them be there to partner. So when you love somebody, you want to give your all. If you look at the likes of Rakitic and Modric play opposite each other in the same league. But you see the country, you see the friendship, you see the love. You see yesterday after winning the Golden Ball, the best player, Rakitic called Modric my brother.
No, but
so you see,
it's you're very, like what you're saying, you're on point. And we've said this a lot of times on the show about the unity in a team, because you cannot do it alone. That is why it's a teamwork. And the way I've seen in recent times where they invite African players to their national team and they want to play based on I am a superstar in my club side, or I am any more than my fellow countrymen. That should not come into play at all. It should be about we working together to achieve one goal, which is to win for the national team and make the people on the continent and in the nation happy. And then we're not seeing that. I can remember in 1984 why Nigerian team of that time was successful on the continent and on the international level was because some of these players, they were playing with their hearts. It wasn't about money for them. It was about how are we going to achieve. And
most of them are playing on the local league that they can see themselves often. They understand themselves very well. And then I think one other thing that I think the African team needs to put in place is this sentimental of we are going for camp for 3 weeks. You put the so-called home base there for 3 days to the tournament. You allow the foreign one to arrive 3 days to the tournament. So I don't think that.
I also think nepotism is one of the things that is destroying football in Africa. Because in Nigeria, where we come from, you've had those experiences. I had those experiences while we were playing soccer growing up, where you see sometimes people are not qualified to be there, but then you that is qualified to be there, you're not going to be there because you don't have anyone to push you to be in that position. So you see, those things are also killing the football on this continent. And it's a shameful thing that a continent with so much population, 54 countries on this continent, and we're unable to at least get past the first round of the World Cup, you know. So and then we are busy clamoring for more slots in the World Cup, which is it's a shame. Trust me, it's a shame.
Like somebody said it yesterday. I think when I was watching this, I think it's the commentator who said, look at France. France has 90% of African players in their team, and they want to work up with them. What is wrong with Africa?
It's the next thing I was going to say.
Does it mean that the African team cannot build these people
the way they should be?
90% of France they are African.
You understand what I'm saying? It's the structure. It's what we've been talking about all this time. You know, look at the French national team that we're talking about. The likes of Kante, Pogba, Mendy, all these players. These are African players, you know, not because they won them, we're claiming them, no, but everyone knows they're from this continent. And then they go outside, they are able, or they were born in Europe, and they were able to do it. Then we here, that we have so much talent, with so much population, we cannot achieve it. I think it's a shameful thing to our people. Really, it's a shameful thing.
It's just that we still don't learn, so we keep on doing the same thing and then expecting different results. So, and I think maybe we need to look at different options. No player, I think when we have this mentality of no player is greater than the country, and then when we should give opportunity to players who are determined, who want to give their best for their country. Because I think that's what happened in Croatia. So when their striker, the other striker claimed to be the big.
Said he could not come in a few minutes. They had to send him back.
It's not even because of the few minutes. I got later that he said he can't play against a black person for 5 minutes. It's because they are playing against Nigeria. So he doesn't want to waste his time to play 5 minutes against a black nation. That's what his statement that he said. So,
but can you see? But then they sent him home. The coach was bold to take that step, even in the first round of the World Cup, without knowing that we are going to go to the final.
I believe if it is in Africa, he could have received a call from either from the FA, from whatever, to retain the guy.
And if you fire that guy, it was going to be your job will be on the line. You know, which is what I'm talking about, nepotism in soccer in Africa, and it's one of the reasons why we're not going forward as a nation. You prefer people who speak the same language with you. You prefer people who they are your friends. You prefer people who are your family.
With the same
you know, and then it's killing us. We are not going forward as individuals, as a nation, and as a continent. Because at the end of the day, it's about who you know. If you don't know anybody, you are not going anywhere. And these are things you see. Then you know, at the end of the day, people are paying for. They are paying for.
Tickets.
No, not even about that. I'm saying that if you're not taking time, you're paying for eye service. It's what you pay for, rather than pay for the real talent that you're looking for. The creativity is not there because the people who possess those qualities are not being chosen because they have no one to back them up. And that is it's killing us in everywhere. It's killing us in churches, killing us in soccer, killing us in as a continent and as a people. And then we're going backward. Anyway, let's talk about now the French national team won from the European continent. The Brazil, the only team to win from 2002. That's Brazil. Brazil won in 2002. From aside that, European continent has dominated the World Cup, winning 4 times. Is soccer shifting?
Yeah, soccer is shifting. I saw yesterday. You know, South American, they are good in this. They are kind of a tic-tac kind of pattern football, and that is fading away. So, and then it now depends on a team like an European team that has a pace, a player like a Space that can counter, that can set piece. in their team. If you look at Brazil, Brazil doesn't believe too much in set piece. They don't believe in too much in crossing, so they believe in too much in playing ball on the grass. Same with Argentina, same with Uruguay. So I think now they need to learn that football is going out of that direction. And I think that's what actually favored France yesterday against Croatia as well. They used the same pattern they used against Argentina to beat Croatia. They know these are the kind of team who want to come all out on you. Just absorb the pressure and then all you just do, just take one ball and then throw it around, and then that's what made me commend Pogba yesterday. So it was really that game. You understand that game, you know, and that's what I've been talking about Pogba. If he learns to release ball when he's supposed to, he's going to be a great player. But if he decides to keep on holding the ball and losing the ball cheaply, then that will not become the criticism.
I think the African continent and even the Asian continent, they need to learn from the European continent, because what these guys are doing is incredible. Because if you look at them, all the talent that are applying their trade in their leagues are from all over the world. You have them from Brazil, you have them from Africa, from Asia. They're coming everywhere. And then when you come and you compete with their people are learning from you. And then when they see that you have that talent, then some of them can even keep you to represent them. And then in the process, can we see 2006 Italy won it, 2010 Spain won it, 2014 Germany won it, 2018 France won it. Now you can see what these people are doing. So that is why I was talking to a friend of mine when we were talking about the South African League, where I say to them that one of the problems that I saw in this league when I came to the South Africa was because the fact that they don't allow foreigners to play in their leagues. Because when the foreigners are coming, the way they should come and play for your club. I don't care if they're 10 or 12 in a team, but let your people learn from them.
Well, I think that is changing in South African league, because I do follow their league as well. If you look at the likes of Mamelodi Sundown, so they have a lot of foreign players from Uruguay.
You need to have 5.
So they have
foreign players.
It's fine.
Only
it's fine.
in
Because in England as well it happens. You know, in England,
league that is well developed.
Even in England as well, you must have percentage of players.
But can you see the influx? Can you see the influx? Look at Chelsea, for instance, last season. Anyway, we're not talking about leagues now. We're talking about World Cup, but I just want to give you a few instances. Even if you look at Chelsea, for instance, how many English players are playing that trade?
No, but what happened is
we have foreign players who are citizens.
No, what happened is what Chelsea does is it's not like they have a percentage. All clubs in England has a percentage of England player that must be there. But what they do is they brought them from the youth academy, put them on the bench. So they are not saying you must play them, but you must have a number of players.
But what I'm saying is this: look at how our football is on this continent at the moment. It's a shameful thing. Trust me, I'm repeating, it's a shameful thing. Nigeria, for one, the way we were coming up in 1990, that we saw the likes of J.J. Okocha, Stevie Keshi, rest in peace, Amonike, and Sia and all that. These players, look at the Kanu Wanko. When they went to Japan 1993, from 1993 they came to Atlanta in 1996. 1996 to 1998 they were together. So the continuity was there. So everyone was thinking there's a future of African football. Look at Cameroon. From 1990, that squad, they maintained it. They were successful because even in 2000 they won the Nations Cup in Nigeria.
And that's one of the things that gave France as well an edge. Because if you look at the Pogba and Mutiti, they won under 21 World Cup for France.
Varane was there.
And Varane as well. So they won under 21. And now they progressed to the Senior World Cup and they won the World Cup again.
It's what we've been saying about continuity. When you have that continuity in a team, in every team, Germany was successful. Because Germany started the process after Euro 2000. When they started that process, they started investing heavily in the academy. And then when they started investing in the academy, their under-20s became good. Under-21 became good. The likes of Ozzy in 2009 when they played the under-21, they demolished England 4-0, and they were able to, those guys were promoted to the senior team where today they are good players. So European continent, they are proving to the entire world that football is changing, because it used to be about South America. You have the Brazil, the Uruguay, the Argentina, you have all those people, but now they are taking over. And then we on this continent, we are left behind.
So we on this continent, I think what we just need to learn from is we need to know that there's a good football. I know that we all enjoy good football. We all enjoy passing ball around, keeping possession, but I don't think it's working anymore. as the tournament has also has proved that to us, even in the league as well, it has proved that to us. So most of the team who are successful are people who have striker, who have pace. If you look at Real Madrid, who won the Champions League, they have the likes of Bale, they have the likes of Ronaldo, who have pace to overtake any defenders. So the same thing with Barcelona, the same thing with Chelsea and every other team. So now I think we need to start looking at a different direction of getting a player with a lot of pace.
The thing is,
and then hold the ball and then
we have everything we need on this continent. The talent is there. And you know what I'm talking about, because we are from the same place. You need to understand that you can go on the street and you see so much talent that it just needs somebody to harness and nurture these guys for them to, that talent to make use of it. But then when you see people that are not making use of it, because a lot of people are not being given the opportunity because they don't know anybody, like we keep mentioning. And then the football is going down on the continent. Russia 2018 has been a tournament that, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with more on the FIFA World Cup in Russia. And to our beautiful viewers out there, we'll be taking a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about France versus Croatia and every other action that took place in Russia. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still watching the World Cup special, the final edition, where we're talking about everything that took place in Russia. We're talking about what went wrong for African countries representing us in Russia and other continents. Is the football shifting? Is football moving from South America to Europe? Because since 2006, they have been winning it. And we saw that with France winning against Croatia. Now let's talk, we're still talking about the World Cup. And we'll talk about the highlights, the records that are being set. We'll talk about what the problem is on this continent. And you and I know what the problem is on this continent. I'm not afraid to say it anytime. I'm talking it's corruption. Corruption is one thing that is killing us on this continent when it comes to soccer and every other aspect of life. And then let's talk about the French national team and the Croatian national team in the final. But before we go there, let's talk about Belgium versus England.
Belgium versus England. Actually, I expect Belgium to win against England because, like we said, they have more of, players who are determined, who are more experienced, and then more skillful than the England. And then they've proven to us the way they got their goals. I think they are the one who have the highest goal scorer in the tournament. So who scored the highest goal scorer in the tournament and conceded lesser as well. So I think with that one, they really proved to be the best team for me against England. And the way they play as well, I like the way they combine passes. And Kevin De Bruyne, for me, I don't know why he's not the man of the match, because he has about more than 6-7 passes that was accurate, and it was misused by Lukaku Hazard himself and the rest as well. So I don't know why, and the one that they even scored also came from him. So I don't know why he's not the man of the match for that match, because that day was really in that game.
Yeah, like you said, I expected them to beat England. That was my prediction, because I wanted them to win. I see, to me, they're more of a complete team than the English national team, because the English national team, all they know how to do is their press is killing them. They hype them too much. They got to the semi-final, the World Cup is not coming home. Now, Pogba was even making jest of them when they won the World Cup. Now the World Cup is coming home. Where is it going? It's going to France. People who are more determined. People who play football and not rely on what the papers are saying about them. And Belgium goalkeeper winning the Golden Gloves as the best keeper of the tournament. And,
I think the reason why
you laughed. I laughed. He didn't deserve it.
He didn't deserve it for me, but I think what they use is because he, like I said, they conceded lesser than another team.
And he saved more.
And he saved more saves. So I think he's fine. But previous World Cup, I think they always give it to the country who win the World Cup. So But I think with the
Lloris,
mistake he made yesterday, I think
that also contributed
to his not being given. But I think he deserved, even Croatian goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I think he deserved him more. He deserved more than the three of them. He considered a lot of goals, but at least he saved. For me, he made some crucial save. Even the penalty that goes them far for two kind of game back-to-back penalty that got them to this place was won by him individually. So, well, congrats to Courtois. So
when the World Cup, before the World Cup, prior to the World Cup, when they gave Russia this World Cup, there was so much speculations about the World Cup is not going to be a successful one because of how the relationship of Russia with
America,
UK, and all that. And then Russia became a threat to everyone. That the environment became so hostile to a lot of people to live in, and even for them to host the World Cup. I'm just saying what the papers were saying anyway. But then they've surprised everyone by hosting a World Cup that was peaceful, a World Cup full of records that were broken and records that were set. And then the people were also accommodating. Because the first thing when I thought about Russia was the racism. And there's never been, I don't know if there's any case.
There was no any case that has to do that target against the player, against the fans or anybody. So there was not any case. It was just a jest of those some group of guys trying to harass the reporters. That's the only case that I heard about. There's nothing like another. Though actually from the beginning, the president promised the whole world that it's going to be a peaceful one. There's going to be a World Cup, and he kept to his word. And I think kudos to their security, kudos to all the people who took part, the organizers as well. So I think kudos to them. So
all right, and Luka Modric winning the most valuable player of the tournament. To me, no one deserves it better than this guy.
No one deserves it better than him. No one deserves it better than him. And if we are talking about Luka Modric, he's a leader. Like we say, he's a man who is ready to give his everything. So it's just unfortunately that he did not go home with the trophy. But at least being the second, we still go a very long time in the history of Croatia. So his name is going to be in the history book of Croatia, or even in the whole world, because he deserves it. He's a man who just came from a Champions League, won Champions League with Real Madrid. So he's not just part of the team. He's somebody who is also involved. He's not just one of those people on the bench that won it, because Croatia won the second place. It's not only those 11 players who play, it's the O22 team who won the tournament. But Luka Modric has always been a leader, contributing to every pass. And he's the only player that I was told that he played longer than any other player this year. So he played all the league for Real Madrid, and then they play all the qualifier for Croatia. Coming to the World Cup, he played every single match. So,
and they actually set a record also, winning 3 consecutive extra time matches. They played more than any team. They were tired. May I understand that if they were not playing those matches and they came into the final and they were beaten by France the way they did yesterday, I was going to maybe pick 1 or 2 things to say about them. But to me, every player in that team is a winner for me. It's a hero for me, because they really tried. They exceeded the expectations of every person. Like we said here, there was nobody envisioned them to be in the final.
No, like
not even in the semi-final. Not talk about
like we said, they didn't even qualify. They didn't even qualify for World Cup. So they have to go and play a playoff for them to come to World Cup, and then they proved to us to where they are. So
they were in the final of the World Cup. Where the likes of Argentina, the likes of Germany, or Brazil, all that with the so-called superstars failed to do so.
And I think the coach of France made a statement on Saturday. He said those teams that rely on one person, they are all at home watching the World Cup. And it's true.
It's very true.
All the countries that came building their team on one particular player, they all left before even the quarterfinal. So this shows to us that it's no longer a single World Cup, or soccer is not based on one person. And this is a lesson for every other players as well, not to stop putting this thing on their head as the whole world, without me they can't do it. So Croatia, France has already proved this wrong, that without anyone, somebody else will come up.
France went there with a striker. Giroud did not score a single
He did not even have a shot on target for the whole
match.
But
then what did he do? But he won the World Cup. But at least the work rate, that is what the coach said, because the coach He said, I'm not going to bench him.
Yeah.
Because the coach knows what the guy is bringing to
Yeah,
the
even
team.
yesterday he has the most completed passes
You
among
understand
the
what
whole
I'm
team.
saying?
But he did not
He's
score a
stepping
goal.
defenders
Yeah.
and he's creating chances. And the coach was okay with it. Then you need a coach who is saying, look guys, we need to play together as a team. I don't care who scores. You know, you don't care if there's a Neymar, if there's a Ronaldo, if there's a Messi. The most important thing is let's win the matches and achieve our target to win the World Cup.
He said, he said we came to the World Cup to win. Anyhow we know how to do it, it's just to win. So our main goal is to play to win, not to play to draw, not to play to lose. And if you look at them from the beginning to the last of the game, there's none of their match that went to extra time. So they won other game in 90 minutes.
90 minutes. And,
so,
and then, you know, they were consistent.
Yeah.
And the same formation, the same
Same
set of
players,
players.
so.
And one thing I love so much about the coach is that in the final, when Kante got a yellow card, he did not even hesitate. He took him out. That is big coaches who are taking big decisions in big matches. In the final of the World Cup, he did not care. Nzonzi came in and he did the job.
And that's one thing about him as well. So if you have, Nzonzi did not say because I'm a second best, I will play like a second best. So he came to the pitch and do his job and played.
He was
there excellent throughout the game as well.
A lot of people need to learn from this World Cup. This World Cup has shown us a lot of things about life. You know, has taught us so much about life. It's just, this is how life should be for everyone. It's not, you don't look down on people, you know, and you should understand that working together, we can achieve excellent things, you know. But then when you decide, okay, you're on an individual, like Neymar, coming into this World Cup, everybody, the Brazilians were expecting Neymar to do magic. They were expecting Messi that to just come in there and killed everyone.
I actually believe if Neymar was not able to fit before the World Cup, they will have blamed it on because that's what they did in 2014. That because Neymar got injured, that's why they were beating 7-0 by Germany. So there's too much of this noise.
And you also know another thing is what I like so much about Croatia and France coach is that the two of them took decisions that a lot of people were not happy about. You know, imagine somebody like Rabiot, who is a very good midfielder. He played very well for PSG, was dropped. And he refused to be on the standby list. He said, no, he's not going to be there. And the coach said, I hope he's not going to regret the decision. And then we saw the coach was right. Croatia sent, the coach sent a striker who was informed. You know, everybody was expecting that guy to be part of this, you know, for this World Cup. He sent him home. And the 32-year-old Mandzukic was able to do it for him. And now he is here.
I know the striker will be blaming himself now because
I'm sure
whether they win it or not, at least this is an
No,
history.
they won. To me, they won.
Yeah, they won.
Croatia won. A country of 4 million people. If a continent or a Nigeria who has 200 million failed to even advance to the next stage of the World Cup, and these guys from 4 million went into the final. I mean, we have to give them.
No.
They deserve each and every one.
For me, they all deserve a medal. So they deserve what they got yesterday. So they deserve the money that their country will receive from this tournament. In the second, they deserve every minute because, like I said, I can't believe them playing 3 consecutive games where 120 minutes and then two of them get into penalty and they still come against France as young as they are, as strong as they are, and still dominated. They have 61% of the possession of the match. So it's just, for me, just that they didn't do enough to win the tournament, but at least they're okay.
You know, that's true. The World Cup, this World Cup has been great to us. We've seen a lot of records, like we say, being broken. We talk about the young boy called Mbappe at the age of 19, becoming the first young player to score in the World Cup final since 1958 when Pele scored in Brazil. And then only, you know, the third in the world. You know, those records they're very, very important. And he's a guy who was coming into this World Cup. I don't think much was expected of him, though one would argue though that every year they expect a lot from French national team. But to this young man, a lot of people were just like, okay, if he comes in, he played very well, fine. We won't understand that it's his age. But then he also did great.
Yeah, yesterday, for me, for France, the man of the tournament for me, for France, will be Griezmann.
Antoine Griezmann. No,
So
I
because
agree
because
with you. I agree with
he
you.
gave his all.
He was
like
selfless.
I said, he's a man with winning mentality.
Yeah.
He has proved that in Atletico Madrid for years. That is a man who, if you give me opportunity, I will make use of it.
Yes.
So he's a man, he's a complete player for me. Set piece is there, penalty is there, goal scoring is there. So for me, for this tournament, I give it to him.
Didier Deschamps has been just one of the best managers in the world for me, because the way he has been able to manage these top so-called superstars, guys who are earning too much, and there was nothing like ego in the team. It was about working together as a team. It was about achieving the same goal, and they were able to accomplish that in this World Cup together.
And that's one of the things that France conquer during this tournament. Because I remember in 2010 in South Africa, it was a fight between player versus player, the coach,
and
then
you know,
so,
and all
so
that.
there was all this. I think for this, this one of the victory they also came over in this tournament, because all the players play for the coach, they play for the team, they play for the love of their country, and then for the fans as well. You can see yesterday, the fans, none of them put on the jersey that they used yesterday. All of them put on the jersey used in 1998.
You see?
Every player, every fans on this, so they went without a sky blue jersey. So
kudos to the coach.
So every one of them, they show us, even their president was there to support them.
He has been with them.
He has been with them. So you could see the bond between the government to the team, to the coaching crew, to the player. So, and I think that's what we need as a continent as well, in Africa and in Europe as well. Once anything that is happening under the name of a nation should be supported by the government with all their might, not like sending them there without supporting. You hear African players complaining about salary.
It's not just about
and
support
everything.
alone. It's not just about support alone. They select the right people to be in the right positions. I mean, it's happening in small organizations where we see a lot of these things happening. Some people are not qualified to be there, but then they are there based on who they know, you know, and all that. And that is killing us on the African continent. So that one is out of it. I don't think that is going to change anytime soon, because we're seeing it. I mean, it's very pathetic that we can go to a World Cup in Russia with 5 teams that are good, and they're one of the best players in Europe last season, which is Mo Salah, and we were unable to at least get past the first round of the World Cup. So to me, the coach of France, I mean, he did amazing job.
No, both coach for me, they
did amazing job. You know,
they know what they want. They stood by what they want. They let the players know that no player is bigger than the country. So they made some decision who we can say normal coach should not do, but they stood by their decision. They know what they want. So they told their government, this is the player we want to. Even when FIFA said, if you send this guy home, Croatia, they won't replace it. The coach said, we are fine with 22 players to play. So
it's better to have 22 players who are willing to
give their
all than have one player who is going to destroy the entire team.
So they have to striker, they have to let go one, so they keep to one. So that shows to us that even if that Mandzukic has injury in that tournament, the coach will still keep to somebody else to play that position for him. So that shows that a good leader should.
It's about who wants it more.
Yeah.
You know?
So a good leader should know the strength and weakness of their team
and his followers.
And
that is That is the key. I just like what you say. If you are a good leader, you should be able to understand your followers, know their strength, and don't just pay for nonsense. Pay people who are worth being paid. That is a very good one. That's a very good one. Now we're talking about the French coach, and we also have another player in that team who so much has been said about him, that is Paul Pogba, becoming the first Premier League player to score in the World Cup final since Emmanuel Petit in 1998. You know, and that is also a record we've seen broken in Russia.
Yeah, I think he earlier in the tournament he said he's not going to listen to criticism. But I think it pays for him, because when he does listen, he gave us what we expected from him. And starting from semi-final. So I see the likes of Pogba that Mourinho will be happy with. The likes of Pogba who will take the ball and then move with the ball. So from the semi-final and yesterday, you see the way he play. All his attention is just to attack. So immediately get the ball from Kante, what to do is look at Mbappe up front, just throw the pass there. So they could have scored even more than that goal. Even in first half, you could see, and that's why one of the reasons. Even the goal he scored was one who released the ball to Mbappe, and then joined them as well in the attack. So he then received the ball again, and then he scored the goal. So that shows to me that if you learn more to move with the striker, come back and defend. Once you get the ball, move with the striker. Don't try to hold the ball too much. Don't try to show that I'm the world best. I want to prove yourself.
And I think also, without distractions, he played very well. Because in England, you know, where the press is on your case every day. Every day you miss a ball, they are reminding you of how much has been paid for you and how much you are earning. And, you know, with your hairstyle and all that. But in this work, I stopped doing all those things.
Yeah.
So he was able to concentrate. And all that is because of they have a good coach who is a good leader, who was able to manage him. You know, the leader told him that prior to the World Cup, he said that Pogba is more concerned about his hair than playing football. And then when he stopped doing all those things, and then he listened to what the coach had to say, we saw a different Pogba, somebody who was able to work for the team, who was not selfish. And then we saw the entire team of French national team. You can't point to one player to say this was a key, because all of them work together.
From the keeper to the defense to the midfielder to the attack, every one of them contributed at one point or the other. So they all won the tournament as a whole. So there's nobody we can say is the best player of the tournament. Giroud might not score, but his work rate, it makes a lot of difference on the field. Kante might not score, but his work rate make a lot of difference in the team. So the defense also came to part where the striker could not break the deadlock. The defense rose to the occasion, and then like Umtiti came to the part and then scored the goal. So I think for them, they have everything that a country or a club will look for as in a team.
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing though, because I mean they're still very young. They have 4 years to come. The likes of Antoine Griezmann, Pogba will still be very, very matured. We don't know what's going to happen then. We cannot predict the future, but I mean, 4 years to come,
Pogba will still be
very
28, 29. So
Griezmann, all these guys, they will still be capable of representing France in 2000.
I think the only person that we might say might not be there is the goalkeeper, the captain, Laurie.
I mean, we never know. Keepers last longer in football.
So that's the only person we might say it has hold.
So it's a good thing, and if they can be able to maintain the same set of players, and then they continue to be there, they can only just inject few players who are just coming.
I just can't wait to see them in Europe in 2 years now again.
You know, it's a very good team that everyone should be looking forward or looking up to, rather, because what they displayed in this tournament was out of this world. And then let's talk about one thing that stood out for me in this tournament, which is very important, because coming into this tournament, when I heard that the VAR is going to be in this tournament, I was more concerned that the beautiful game is going to be damaged, you know, and we're going to see a lot of mistakes. Though there were few controversial decisions here and there, but we're able to see only 4 red cards in the entire tournament.
But the 4 red cards in the entire tournament is not the work of VAR. If I have to look at it, because there's no red card given that the VAR nullify throughout the tournament. So there's nothing like that. But what I see is the players themselves, they were disciplined. The defense, when we talk about the red card, the players themselves, they came to play. So football. Sorry to cut you, but what I'm saying is this: if because VAR is there and the players now understanding that the VAR is there, there were a lot of fouls being committed here and there in previous World Cup where some of them the referee will not see. But now players are made aware of those things. That the moment the referee don't see, there's somebody else who will see and then point it out to the referee. So I think that is also one of the reasons why people were more... I agree with you in that line, but I still look at it that even despite of that, VAR gave more penalty. That was the reason why we have the highest penalty kick in this tournament. We have 29 penalty in this tournament, higher than any other tournament. So despite that, that means that the players still commit those errors that they used to make. So because most of the penalties not from handball, it's from holding another players who could have caused another damage as well. But for me, I think I will give it to them. It's the first time trying it out in the tournament. But for me, I think it's fine, it's fair, it's give the goals that most people deserve. It allows the penalty that most people deserve. Just that I just have my reservation based on most of the matches that the VAR overlook the same thing. So the consistency is not there. Because if it is consistent, as long this same player has the same thing, it's supposed to repeat in this, which we find out that it does not apply in this tournament as well. So I want to say a very big thank you to you for helping me actualize this dream of making the World Cup special becoming a reality. You were the only person I told you about this dream. You believed in me,
and you stick to me from day one till now. I want to say a very big thank you, sir. And I
Pleasure.
believe that the good Lord will continue to bless you.
Amen.
Thank you very much. I really do appreciate you.
Welcome.
And I'll be here anytime for you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on
Welcome.
the show once again. And to our beautiful viewers out there, I want to say a very big thank you for watching the program and supporting us. Where we failed, we made mistakes. You've always been there, corrected those mistakes, and help us rectify them together. I want to say a very big thank you to my entire crew, the camera guy, the guys that are helping me mixing, to our bosses who have given us this platform to be here and bring this beautiful, beautiful event to you. I want to say thank you to everyone, as this is the final episode of the Workout Special until Premier League will resume, and then we'll be coming with sports, more of talking sports, the mistakes, the cry, the joy, the glamour that comes with the game. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone out there who supported us without we knowing about it. I want to say a very big thank you to you, and we pray that the good Lord will continue to bless and protect each and every one of you. I love you so dearly, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your day.